It's Natasha, and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, you guys loved this video where all we did was die cut out a die from some fun foam, and we were able to create these gorgeous cards. Now, I could go on forever about this technique because it is just one of the best. It's called Must Know, Must Try, the video. I will also link it in the description box down below, but this is exactly what it's made of. This is kids fun foam, and I have just cut out a die. It doesn't have a coordinating stamp or anything. It's just a plain die. It's called the Whirl Bay Leaves from Simon Says Stamp, and it's cut out of this, just kids fun foam. You run it through one time through your die cutting machine. Don't be tempted to run it through twice. And then you can stamp with it, and it stamps beautifully. And I was like, if we can stamp with it, can we foil with it? Because I also have a video where I said you can foil any stamp going. Any stamp you have, fine, intricate, detailed, you can stamp it and make it foiled without any machines, without any heat. So I'll also link that video down below, but that's what got me started on today's, because I had the leaf left over in the foam and I was like, can we foil with the foam? Surely. Right, let's give it a go. I am creating some backgrounds here. Now, this is just completely playing, having fun, enjoying the process, and I'm just using some dye inks for the backgrounds. I'm smushing them down onto an acrylic block. I don't want anything to be perfect or straight or, really nice and neat. This is really just creating backgrounds. Then I'm going to take some Passionate Pink, and then what I do here, I love this technique, is it's more like kind of paint scraping, but with ink. So I just use the acrylic block again, but I tilt all of the ink down to one edge. I put some water on, obviously, to make the ink move, and then I just use it as a bit of a scraper across the top. Now, you could do this with like an old hotel card or an old credit card or something, or you can do it with some cardboard, although that won't last forever, but it will work, and it does create a very cool, nice little scraping effect that you can just sort of, do a few of them randomly across your page. And the fun thing is that no two are ever going to end up the same. Then I'm going to take a few background stencils. These are just completely random. The one with the diamonds is the Crafters Workshop stencil. It is an old stencil. I have no idea if it's still available. There are a million stencils that look like this one out there. Once you find a good one like this, sort of a nice generic shape, you are going to keep using them over and over again. And that is exactly what I have done with these types of stencils. A lovely subscriber got me this one with all of the numbers on it. They sent it to me in a little parcel, and I absolutely love it. So thank you very, very much. I just find, it's nice to just add a few little bits and pieces. So for this one, I'm going to add some Unicorn Hero Arts white pigment ink, and that's what I'm using to put on top of some of the color that we've got in the background. Now, honestly, making backgrounds like this is so much fun. This is just sort of like mindless, beautiful, happy place creations. Now, I loved it so much, I wanted to create some with blues and greens, but you can see I actually had some pink left on there from the previous one, so that's more of a muddy green, and this one's more of the true, I think it's key lime green that I'm using. Anyhow, you could use some stamped off backgrounds that you have. That would be helpful for this. I just really love creating these. As I said, this is definitely my happy place. I'm doing all the same techniques, but just with the different color palette, so that's fine. I absolutely do love a good blues. I lean towards the blues and greens. But as always, it's good to lean outside of your comfort zone every now and then, and that's what I did with the pinks and yellows and oranges, so we can have a little bit of both and everybody happy. I'm using exactly the same techniques on both, exactly the same stencils, and you can see it just works every single time. The swiping looks different, they all look a little bit different, but they all look, they're all using the same techniques. Now, what you could have done is use like a really big sheet of paper and then cut it up into little pieces, but either is fine. Now, here is the stamp ready to go. I also have the foil ready to go that I want to use. I love this Tonic foil. I think there's only a few colors available of it, maybe like 5 or so. I mean, Deco Foil does a beautiful foil too. This one, I don't know. I've just found I really like this one. I may get a couple more colors. I only have red and gold at the moment. And then this is the glue that we're going to be using. Now this is Dry's Tacky Glue. So it's not necessarily tacky glue, it's about how it dries. And so the Tombow Mono adhesive, the green bottle of the Tombow, that is also going to work. There's lots and lots of dry tacky glues out there, but this is just the one I use. This is the Smart Glue from scrapbook.com, and a little bit will last you forever in these bottles. And all I'm going to do is dab it on with a makeup sponge, and then I'm going to stamp this down onto our card fronts. Now, down in the bottom right hand corner is the actual picture from the website of the die, and it is very handy to keep in mind that this is not a solid stamp. You can see it has all of those beautiful detail lines that will show up when you die cut this, so don't expect a solid result. That's not what the stamp is. If you want solid, then just use a different die. And absolutely, I think that would look stunning too. So just remember, all the texture on here is because of the die. It's meant to be that way. It's not meant to be solid, but you could pick a solid, as I said. Now, on this one, I was trying to use up every last bit of this foil, so I could have just gotten a brand new piece out and, done it that way, but look, this way worked perfectly good too. And look how beautifully crisp this foils just by using some glue. I absolutely love these results. Now, I can imagine if you did this on like a really dark blue navy background, just how stunning that would look too. But I love these ones as is. I love all the colors in the background. I love all the textures that we've got. I think it's just a really nice combination. If we want to go ahead and highlight some bits and pieces, help bring them out a little bit, I have a couple of different options. You could either choose like a silver pen or a white gel pen or a white pencil. This one happens to be like a watercolor pencil, and you can just go around and highlight things. You could do it with black. That would also work. Anything to help bring this out a little bit more. I actually think it's fine as is, because when you move this in the light, and it's very eye-catching when you move it, it's it's really easy to see the shape. It's not tricky at all. So I just like the extra little details as well, and I was deciding just how much white to put on here. Now, I am going to cut these down a little bit. I decided to actually go with a torn look. You might have some decal edge dies, or you might have the decal edge trimmer. That would also look really nice. Or, because it's sort of already a rustic, beautiful image, you could go with nice straight lines and a matting layer. All of it would look good. But at this point, when I was working on this part, and I thought, how fun would it be to add in like a little bit more of the gold somewhere? There are a few options I could have done here. A plain gold like matting layer of cardstock behind this, but what I decided to do was on the card base, I'm going to add some of that same tacky Dry's Tacky Glue. This is the Smart Glue, and I just want it to be really sporadic, really sort of rustic and just uneven looking and not solid at all. Now, this is just, this was just a fun little experiment, and I'm just using up the leftovers here. I'm not getting out brand new sheets. I'm really making the most of this one, and so that is also going to help with the, rustic sort of look of the gold around the edge. And then I wanted there to be some clean white lines that did create a border, so you're not going to be able to see all of this as such, but we were really making the most of this one piece of gold foil, I will say that. So this looks pretty good. It's very rusticy, very patchy, but also beautiful and shiny and catches your eye. Now I'm going to wrap some gold thread around here with a little bit of double-sided tape on either side of this, and then keep this in place using a little bit of 1mm fun foam. So just a little bit of lift, but not too much, I would say. And then for the sentiment, now I didn't think this through earlier, and that's okay because this happens all the time. I really love the card so far, but I wanted a gorgeous little sentiment, and I've got the Trinity Stamps birthday set here, and it's got this solid birthday, this little one down here, and I really like this look, except for I don't have a very even surface anymore because I've put foam tape underneath here. It's not the best, so it kind of stamped okay, but I kind of felt like it could be better, so that's okay. We can pivot, and all we will do is stamp the happy up above, excuse my head, and then I'm going to stamp the happy on the birthday down onto a white crisp piece of paper, and that's stamped beautifully. So this one I will just cut out. I think the white border is also going to help it stand off the page. And sometimes I think things were just meant to be. So this worked out pretty well. Trim this down with that little white border, as I said, and then pop this straight over top of my little mistake, and you would never know. So that is this card finished for today. I hope you enjoyed the foiling with foam stamps, and I will link those other videos down below along with all the supplies used, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for being here. Bye.